So here is the result from my sieve analysis. You can see percent passing with nearly everything passing the 26.5mm sieve all the way down to the pan, and of course nothing passes the pan. We're going to do 3 plots to communicate this data. First of all, a standard linear plot using XY scatter, and of course I need to convert the word pan to a 0 because XY scatter only works with numbers. Block in the data, insert XY scatter plot with markers. I'll need to label the axes, so cross and add axis titles. Percent passing on the y-axis. Sieve size on the x-axis. PSD analysis is the title. So that would be my standard linear plot. You see that both axes are linear, and you also see that a lot of information is lost in the first 2 or 3 millimeters of results. A better way to present this data is using a semi-log scale, and we're actually going to convert the scale along the x-axis to a logarithmic scale. To do this, point at one of the numbers on the x-axis and right-click. Go to Format Axis, and scrolling down, I can apply a logarithmic scale. I have an error message here because log of 0 is not defined. So rather than 0, I'm just going to put a small number. In this case, 0.01. I now have my log scale along the x-axis and standard linear scale on the y-axis. Next is to format the x-axis. I'd like to move the y-axis, the vertical axis, so that it appears on the left side of the screen. I can do this by changing the axis value here to 0.1 like so. It will be useful to add some minor grid lines, so to improve the readability of the graph, right-click on one of the axis values for the x-axis, add minor grid lines, and also to format those grid lines. Point at a grid line, go to Format Grid Lines. I want a solid line and a color like so. So there we have the semi-log graph of percent passing for the PSD analysis. Now, of course, I can read information from this graph. For example, P80 would be reading off from the 80% value and down, and we see that it's between 10 and 11 millimeters. Finally, to draw a line graph to show this same result, I'll delete this graph now, and display the line graph is just to block in the percent passing values. Insert a line with markers. It's actually going in the wrong direction at the moment. I need to actually sort the data smallest to biggest. I can do this by blocking the numbers and sort smallest to largest while expanding the selection like so. Next is to add the x-axis labels. So on the line chart, I will choose to highlight the chart. In Chart Design, I can choose Select Data. Here I get access to the horizontal category labels. Edit these and pass the sieve sizes like so. Now we have sieve size and percent passing as a line graph. Instead of the 0.01 value, which of course is the pan, for a line graph I can change the text here and just call this one pan. Also, to add and format the axis, I will choose the axis position to be on tick marks, and we will also add major grid lines. And then the titles. And there you have a line graph to display of the